See, the thing is, people want you to give up. You know, if you're not part of what's so-called, popular or whatever's trending at the moment, they want you to give up so that way they have a chance to promote what they want instead. Be stubborn. Don't give in to that. You know, whether you get one reader at a time, or 10, or even thousands, don't give up. Keep going. Write what you're going to write, make what you're going to make, but don't make it just a pie in the sky kind of dream. Show results. Even if, say, you're just starting out with comic book script writing or other things, like, put it out there. If you don't put anything out there, then people will be really hesitant to back you or even, take a look, because you don't really have anything besides, like, maybe a couple concept arts or, like, a few covers. Because I'm going in the opposite direction with Uplift Protocol. I got a good couple of books already, even though they're in fourth rough draft form. They're still out there and on the blog to be read and looked at. And you know what? People can follow along with me, or they can wait until I'm done and I release the final product. Because I am still shooting for mid-2023 to have everything, set up, formatted properly. And, the option to get printed copies, maybe even hardback copies. It's all sorts of stuff that I'm looking into even right now to see how you format stuff properly, to that way, like, say I run it through an editor or two, people that aren't me, so that way they can point out easier, like, oh, hey, you need to spruce this up a bit, or here's where your stuff is really weak, or, that sort of thing. Eventually, I will get around to not only just, commissioning internal arts, but I am going to get other eyeballs to look at it in a professional manner. But the whole point of me putting it on the blog now is mostly to give people something to read while they're waiting. Because some people do like to read while it's being baked, and some people like to see how stuff progresses. So I hopefully, people are having fun following along. And it looks like they are. And again, some readers don't actually start reading another section until I have another book done. Like, they'll read, like, one book at a time and then wait until I finish, like, say, the current book 5 I'm doing. There are going to be at least 5 to 10 readers that are going to wait until that's done, and then they'll read that book. Thing is, when I fully release this whole entire series, in proper format, a lot of the details will flow even better, because you're not reading it a little bit at a time, and then a lot of the details will be fresh in people's memories. I mean, because even I go back and, like, okay, wait, there's that plot point there, I gotta expand it here, bring it into the main story there. That, again, it's just a process that you'll learn by doing and by reading other things. Are there people out there that have such a command of the word that they can get a whole lot of description across in the most economical way possible and exciting? Yes. Again, I will link that below. This whole entire, I just like the fact that people will point out gems to me, and I am just going to help Pulp Rev unearth them. And what am I talking about for that link? Gemini of the Sleeping Gods. Eventually, I want to my goal is to at least get halfway as proficient with the description, where this book takes description and basically takes a knife to it, but says a whole lot with as few words as possible, if that makes sense. I mean, again, look at the sample, pick the book up for yourself. Next payday, I plan on buying the actual paperback, because that's a book that I want on my shelf. Seriously. Heck, I might even buy an extra copy so I can mark it up and see, like, how certain lines are broken down, and so I can make notes for myself. That's probably the greatest compliment I can pay to any book, that I look at the samples and I look at other chapters and be like, okay, how did this writer basically sprinkle the exposition, sprinkle the description and stuff without making me tune out? Because I know a lot of people do love the endless description fest of the Wheel of Time setup, but that's just not in my wheelhouse, not anymore. Maybe when I was like in high school and I had a lot more free time, but now between balancing writing and everything else, I want to be able to feel like I've gotten through a good chunk of a very fun adventure in a decent set of time. If I take like 30 minutes a day to even read something, I want to make sure that I know that it's meshing with my wheelhouse fairly well. And by doing stuff with Uplift Protocol in this way, I can gauge people's level of interest in certain kinds of arcs, some plot points, because some people do go back to other issues repeatedly, over certain other kinds of issues. Some people were really interested in a few aspects of what was happening to Dexter, but some people are also more invested in, say, some of the Bardaxian characters. I could tell these things by the view count, because you can go back into the stats and be like, okay, when did people do additional views of this particular issue? And it shows the date and everything. It shows me where people are catching up. It shows me how often people are reading chapters in a way, because you get to see that update, but you can do it like as an all-time update, the past 7 days, that sort of thing. So in any kind of growth to me is exciting. Like the fact that people even take their time to even look at the first few chapters and decide if it's for them or not, I'm pretty happy with that. You're not going to catch everybody, but if you get enough of a core readership, and again, like even on indie setups, if you say even have 20 to 30 core readers that boost your stuff when you initially put things out, that causes a cascade effect. It's more likely that you will get results within the first few weeks of your book being out, and sometimes that's the most important jump, even in indie land. If you build up a reader base even over time, even 100 readers, like what I would consider like hardcore readers, like they will read almost everything you put out. Eventually I do hope my series gains enough people for that, but I'm still happy that the amount of readers it even has right now, and especially for not being completed yet, because there are people out there that will wait for a completed series if you're indicating, this is going to be maybe a more long-running thing, maybe even six to 10 books. So that's about it for today, everybody. Just a little aside about what I've been doing and how I just keep with the writing process and seeing how the blog is helping me out with that. Have a good day, everybody.